Hi everyone. I finished reading Madame Bovary right there, and this must be one of the most beautiful books that I've ever read in my life. To be honest, Flaubert, his language, his use of words is so beautiful that I couldn't help but be slowed down in a way that allowed me to sort of appreciate that, yeah, that's how language should be, in the sense that his description of countryside, his development of character. Um, Madame Bovary must be one of those heroines of 18th century, 19th century of literature whose relevance is very much in tune with today's climate of consumerism and overconsumption and overindulgence, that you forget that you need to exist and you have a life and you have people who care about you beyond your wild, wildest, I guess, fantasies. She represents a woman who, or a person in general, who has no precise definition of morality and a clear grasp on reality, that she strays so far away from her own life and kind of creates this fantastical world for herself where she exists and indulges in whatever she wants with disregard for her family. And this definitely kind of represents a very interesting critique on women's roles as homemakers in the 19th century, but also gives you perspective that despite what society might tell you, if you have no control over your own life, your own desires, your own intentions, no matter which path you pick to exist in society, no matter what role you want to exist in society as mothers, wives, or entrepreneurs, workers, you know, people who just exist. You could be like leading your own life without the responsibilities of family and marriage. But despite all that, if you do not have a precise, intentional, directed kind of living that has a strong moral campus and a focus that does not get deterred by the fantastical imagination of things that could be, would be, that are not in sync with the reality. Despite all that, you have to really be in tune with the morality, reality, and concerns of your life in order to not stray so far away that everything kind of becomes so impossible to come out of in the end. So Madame Bovary is more of a warning to anyone who needs sort of like snap back to reality. Don't overconsume. Do not let your desires take over your life. You really have to kind of be here, be present, appreciate language, read the book. Basically, I'm just saying, gotta read that book. Sorry about my voice. It's very weird because I have a cold, so that's what we're dealing with. But either way, Madame Bovary, classic, very beautiful language. 100% recommend. It is quite slow, in the sense that you really have to slow down and picture everything the Flaubert describes. There's a lot of use of color as a figure of as a metaphor, as a representation of kind of symbols or ideas or emotions. Um, there's a lot of little witty quotes and paragraphs that you can find in this book. But the most beautiful part is this book is very short but very dense in the sense that there's so much packed in this little book. And our heroine and all the other characters that we meet, that I hope you end up picking this book this year and reading it to its maximum. Maybe rereading it, because I do plan on rereading it. I just feel like this book is definitely one of those that need a reread. I picked this book because of the book about color, and the main color in this book is blue. If this book was a color, it would be blue. I have no idea why they don't do the book covers in blue, but maybe some types of editions do the cover in blue. But this book represents blue. That's my little digression. Very informal. I am not a book reviewer. I just love talking about books. So if you end up picking this book, please tell me what your thoughts are. If you already read this book, tell me what you thought about it, because I am still buzzing from how fast the last chapter went, and everything just kind of. At some point, I was reading the last few chapters and I was like, is it possible that we're coming to an end, but there's not enough pages in the book to finalize whatever is happening? But yeah, it did end up um, finalizing itself. It's hard because maybe this is a style thing in the 19th century, but it turned into I think, a sort of. So at the end of the book obviously is told in the perspective of someone looking into these lives. And then towards the end, it turns into sort of present tense, which kind of makes you feel like it's happening right now. But at that time, I think it was relevant. Thank you for listening. This is the book. Oh, whoa. Okay. I guess I don't need to turn it, but that's my copy of the book. And it is beautiful, to be honest. So if you have a different copy, or if you ever find this copy, I would highly recommend that for you to read this book. Having a book is very different from reading it, trust me. You have to read the book. Thank you for listening. Bye.